Hey everyone, this is Stephanie Charbonneau with Travel Creates Memories by Dream Vacations. I'm joined today by my good friends at Celebrity Cruises, Nancy and Camilla, I'm sorry. We are going to talk about the Galapagos today. I'm super excited about this presentation because I really don't know a lot about the Galapagos other than it seems like a really cool place that I want to go to. Nancy, do you want to introduce Camilla and kind of tell us a little bit about her?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to review our presentation for you today. Camilla is our manager of our Galapagos product and our resident expert. And she is kind enough to join us today for this presentation because she knows so much more about the Galapagos than I do. And we want to make sure you get the most and best information possible. Camilla, please take it away.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in wherever you are in the world. I'm very happy to go through all things Galapagos with you. And Stephanie, by the end of this time, you will be an expert. So I think you're going to take over my presentation once I'm done
I love
here.
it.
Hi, everybody. Well, Stephanie, to your point, the Galapagos, you may not know a lot about the Galapagos, but it does exist in our collective, right? In one way or another. A lot of people have told me that they did a presentation when they were in elementary school or a project about it, or of course, Darwin, we all know Darwin, survival of the fittest. So it's quite unusual really to meet somebody who has not heard about the Galapagos Islands, even if it's just by name. But the truth is it's such a unique destination. It's unlike any other place in the world. It's a volcanic archipelago, 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador, sitting right on the equator. And because it's such a remote place and it's located on the equator in between all of these ocean currents, we have very unique animals and plants, and it's also very dense. There's so much wildlife. And when you're there, it is blatantly obvious why it's so important that we must take care and conserve our natural resources and wildlife. We've been doing this. Celebrity Cruises has been in the Galapagos for about 20 years now, and sustainability and environmental stewardship has been very, very important from the very beginning. And we are seeing this trend, right, in travel, responsible travel, active conservation, and making sure that you are investing your dollars in a responsible way. And in the Galapagos, it is not just our responsibility, but it's actually a mandate. So the tourism in the Galapagos Islands is geared towards sustainability first and foremost. It's very, very important that we take care of these islands and islands like it so future generations can visit and see what we are seeing. Environmental stewardship touches every single part of our presence in the Galapagos, from our hotel operations to our menus, all the way to the engineering of the ship. For example, we have a water treatment system that desalinates all of the water, and we actually also reuse the condensation of the AC to do laundry. We have a dynamic positioning system that allows the ship to stay in place without dropping an anchor. We also have a zero garbage policy. So our crew on board separates all of the garbage, and what can be recycled is what can be composted is, and anything that needs to go to a landfill, we take back to the mainland in an existing flight and we process it in the mainland. And that's because there's only one landfill in the islands, and we don't want to add additional stress.
Camilla,
Yes,
I have a
yes,
quick
of course.
question. I saw that you have zero single-use plastics.
Yes,
So what happens if I want bottled water while I'm on the cruise?
that is a good question. We have water refilling stations all over the ship,
Okay.
and we give you a water bottle. So you have a reusable water bottle. Of course, if you want sparkling water, that will come in a glass jar.
Okay. Perfect. Thank
So
you.
all the straws and everything, and that is not just our mandate across the fleet, but that is also a Galapagos National Park mandate.
Oh,
So all of the ocean, all of the beaches, every excursion, you will not see one piece of garbage. And it's really nice because I don't know, I can't remember last time I was in a beach that I didn't see, a bit of plastic here and there. So it's
right.
becoming definitely our new norm. But visiting the Galapagos Islands, you can see what things may have looked like before that.
Mhm.
And you see that it is possible still in the world. So
Awesome.
that's really nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
And any effort that we do, sustainability or otherwise, will only go so far if we don't include the community, right? And being here for 20 years, we have fostered really great relationships with the locals. And with that, we decided to open the Galapagos Fund, which is an NGO, it's a nonprofit organization that is operated locally. And we've raised over $1.5 million, and all of this money goes directly to the community. Our guests can also partake, so they can donate money into it. And we actually match that as a future cruise credit. So it's a win-win all around. And
Wait. You match what as a future cruise credit?
you match guest donations into as a future cruise credit. So if you give, let's say, $300, that goes directly into the fund. We, Celebrity, will give you a credit for you to apply to a future cruise.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, so then it's a win-win. You are investing and supporting the local community, but you're also investing in your future vacation.
I love that. That's
So
fun.
yeah, it's really nice. And this money goes directly to the community in ways of we have donated into schools, we've done hospitals, invested in small businesses, and it also funds the Scalesia Reforestation Project. And this will become very evident, but I am a huge tree hugger and just I love nature. I am one with nature. So I love this project, and our guests do too. Let me show you a little bit of what it looks like.
They are returning, coming back little by little. They are taking back their rightful home. The red frenzy again begins to contrast with the lush green of the Scalesia forest. The little vermilion flycatcher and the warbler finch are back home. In the highlands of Santa Cruz Island, in protected areas of the Galapagos National Park, lies a forest of trees that only exist in Galapagos. The Scalesia has been disappearing due to the impact of invasive species.
We need to re-energize the ecological processes that used to exist in these ecosystems. For example, the abundant presence of birds like the artisan finches, and especially in this area, the dramatically reduced presence of the vermilion flycatcher.
In the area, there are 552 native and endemic species, and 825 introduced species. Yes, the invaders outnumber the local plants. Park rangers at Galapagos National Park are making substantial efforts to eradicate invasive species such as blackberry bushes, rats, and feral cats to restore native and endemic species. To strengthen this challenging task, Celebrity Cruises guests and staff have joined forces. This partnership allows them to actively participate in conservation by planting native and endemic species in the Scalesia forest at the Gemelos.
We have restored only with the contribution of Celebrity Cruises guests who have been involved in the reforestation of Scalesia plants, approximately 70 acres.
This is absolutely a wonderful project. I'm so impressed with it.
We are thrilled to take part in it. What is the balance in these 10 years? More than 35,000 guests have participated in this initiative. 70 acres restored, over 70,000 plants sown, 15 bird species. Endangered birds such as the little vermilion lycatcher or the warbler finch are reappearing. The monitoring of 1,197 plants, 75 identified species demonstrate a rich ecological diversity. 2 giant tortoises, 47 insect species, 18 fungi species, 15 bird species. The NGO Galapagos Conservancy conducted a comprehensive study of the systematic planting of endemic plants, particularly Calesia, in the ecosystem of Los Gemelos on Santa Cruz Island. Each of these efforts are part of the Rewilding Galapagos program, aimed at protecting unique ecosystems and ensuring the Enchanted Islands remain a treasure for the future generations.
All of our guests actually get to partake in it, which is great. And believe it or not, it's the first time a lot of our guests plant a tree. And if you think back in your life, really, how many trees have you planted versus how many trees have you used in paper or paper towels or things like that? So this is a great project. And that's what we mean when we say there's a difference between visiting and experiencing. I know, Stephanie, you know better than a lot of people. That's why we have jobs, right? To make these experiences as immersive and as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
The entire time you are in the Galapagos, especially when you are on the islands themselves, you are guided by experts. You have naturalists certified by the national park, and they're experts in the flora and the fauna of the archipelago. And these guides truly, you see it all through their eyes, and they're locals, so they can tell you what it's like to live and grow up in these islands, which is so unusual. And they really become your eyes and ears through which you experience these islands. And it's really great because the entire time you are accompanied and you feel like you can ask questions at any time. And the way that you experience these islands is quite varied, right? You have snorkeling, coastal explorations, kayaking, hiking, beach excursions. So this is quite an active vacation. There is, of course, there's downtime, but I always recommend you should go on every single activity you possibly can. The way that you experience these islands, I mean, you are able to just see so much. I want to share with you, Stephanie, just a quick 30-second video of the excursions that I saw the last time I was there just a couple months ago, and just look at the abundance of wildlife that you are able to see. It is just so beautiful.
Beautiful.
You know, a lot of people, they think, and it's kind of told that animals in the Galapagos don't fear humans. And while that is true, it's especially true that animals in this part of the world don't have a lot of natural predators. So they don't have a cause of fear. They don't fear death, really.
Amazing.
fun fact for you, another thing to learn about the Galapagos is that they're named after giant tortoises. Galapagos means giant tortoise in Latin.
Huh.
And I mean, just look at these
I
creatures.
know pictures don't do this justice. So how big is this gentle giant?
Wow, I'm gonna say like 400 pounds. And he
Wow.
is, I mean, I wish I can tell you, like 5, maybe 6 feet wide.
Wow. So yeah,
Yeah,
pictures don't do this justice at all.
truly. And by the way, all of these pictures, all of these videos were either taken by naturalists on board or myself doing real shore excursions.
Nice.
So this
What are the
is
seas like there? Are the seas typically pretty calm or do they get rough?
it's the Pacific Ocean, and they get deep pretty quickly.
Mhm.
So we don't have choppy seas, choppy oceans like we do in the Caribbean, for
Right.
example.
Right.
We experience swells more than anything, like big, slow waves.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, the dynamic positioning system on board Flora makes also is the stabilizers, and they are incredible. I mean, they shoot water on either side to keep the ship stable. And
That's interesting. Yeah. The technology.
oh my God, it's so fascinating. Of course, I'm not a marine person, but the more I learn about it, the more impressed I am. It's
Of
so,
course, right.
it really is a state of the art ship. And because it's a smaller ship, it's 100 guests, 50 suites. And that's, by the way, as big as they get in the Galapagos.
Okay.
It also has very new technology that isn't yet scalable to the big ships.
Oh,
So it's in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a ship of the future. It's
right.
really cool, like the desalinating, the water and waste processing, of course, a positioning system is just incredible.
Very interesting.
And it is inspired by the islands. So it is designed specifically to sail the islands and to respect the environment because it's so delicate. For example, the animals here are unique to this part of the earth. Of course, we've all seen iguanas, we've all seen lizards here and there, but these, the ones that you're seeing in your screen right now, are uniquely adapted to eat underwater. People call them Godzilla because you will be underwater and seeing this iguana that's not amphibious, by the way, it's holding its breath,
Wow.
eating underwater next to fish, next to turtles. I mean, it's just incredible. You also see penguins here. It's the only penguin in the northern hemisphere. I mean, penguins in the tropics is
Right.
such an anomaly, but it's true. A lot of people have heard of the blue-footed boobies, which are, I would say, our most popular
Right.
bird. But we also have red-footed boobies and Nazca boobies. And if you see here, they're shaped very similarly, but they have very different characteristics that
Uh-oh. Camilla?
it's, and a lot of the animals here are either monogamous or they co-parent. Like the blue-footed boobies, they co-parent. And you see here, they will be a family for a few years before they go and create families with others.
Sweetness. How can you
And
not
there's,
love looking at little animals?
yeah. And there's in the Galapagos, the climate is so mild because we are in the equator
Mhm.
that species mate all of the time. It's opportunistic mating, kind of like humans. I mean, we don't wait until spring to have babies, right? We have babies all year round. And in the Galapagos, you also see babies all year round. I love this picture, Gardner Bay. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, but I love it especially because it's just a typical beach that you would, if I asked you to draw a beach, I think it would look very similar to this. right? Except it has hundreds of sea lions. And they are looking at you, looking at them, and they don't care that you're there. They actually, you are a natural part of their environment. And the naturalists always tell you that you have to stay 8 feet away from the animals, but know that the animals have no idea what that means. They don't know what 8 feet means. And it happens a lot with our guests that they just want to go touch the animals, but we're like, these are wild animals.
Right,
We just,
right.
yeah.
Now, I
The
do have to ask, it looks like a clean beach because when you go to, it's one of the
absolutely.
sands in California, San Diego, San Francisco, one of those, I can't remember. And they
Mhm.
have sea lions that
Yes.
cluster, whatever in an area, and it stinks.
It
And
does. Yes, yes, yes. So that happens in ports, right? Ports
right.
or piers, and there's fishermen. In these islands, there are no ports and there are no piers. So you actually see in this picture, all of the transportation is done via tenders.
Mm-hmm.
Our ship never goes in port because there are none. So it's always tendered. And we don't allow any food or anything like that on the islands during an activity like this because it is such a delicate ecosystem
Right.
that if you bring anything in, you need to bring it out, right? Because at the end of the day, this is where these animals live. 97% of the Galapagos Islands archipelago is a national park, which is very protected. So when our guests are going offshore and hiking and snorkeling, they're experiencing one of the most pristine places in the world. And like you said, it's very clean because they have plenty of space to go and hunt, and they're not looking for scraps of fishermen or things like that. It's very, very well taken care of. It's beautiful. I mentioned a bit about our tenders. We have custom-made tenders actually that the locals absolutely love, as you can tell by the sea lion in one of our tenders here. This picture is actually, those are my parents, and I took them, of course. And the sea lion just popped right onto the tender. And my mom was just saying, like, 8 feet, stay
I
eight
was gonna
feet
say, this
away.
is what you mean by the animals don't understand the 8 foot
That's
rule, right?
absolutely right. And they have accepted us as
Mhm.
part of their natural environment. And this pup is just here, just
Cute.
taking a break from swimming, not seeing us as a threat whatsoever. Our tenders are custom made, so you can see in the very front we have a staircase, and on the side we have a hydraulic ramp. So they're much safer, much less wet, much more comfortable. And I'm not sure if you're very familiar with expedition travel or exploring via tender, but a traditional tender, you're sitting on the side, and to get off of it, you have to whip your legs around and hope that you don't fall on your face. With our tenders, which are unique, by the way, in this region, nobody else has them. You can just walk in and walk off. So for
That's
something like
cool.
this, oh, it's great because you are getting on and off a tender at least 4 times a day. It is really nice to know that they are safe and sturdy and you won't get nearly as wet. Snorkeling is just absolutely the best. I'm a diver, I'm a water animal. I love being in the water, and I can with much confidence tell you that it has almost ruined diving for me anywhere else. Because where else would you get an experience like this? You just
Yeah,
have sea lions popping out of nowhere
getting in your
with
face.
you in your face. There's the beginning of this video, which I actually took out. There's one that has a piece of fish,
Oh,
and it's like inviting us to eat it with them.
oh.
They're like bringing it to you. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And like I mentioned, this is all during real Flora short excursions. So you'll see that guests have experienced this. And this is just a tiny little glimpse of what a journey into the
That
Galapagos.
was a mean little sea lion.
I
Seal
know.
taking on the turtle,
Yeah.
bully.
Yes, that sea lion really likes attention.
Yes, yes. Now, are the excursions included or are they an additional cost?
Yes, all of it is included.
Okay.
And I love this video specifically because this isn't the excursion, right? This is on the way back from an excursion.
Oh,
And you can think, okay, we have 2 activities a day, all of which are included, and you get to pick, right? So we have options of a long walk or a short walk, snorkeling, and let's say you have 4 options that morning. So you kind of pick your own adventure, and you never know what you're going to see.
this is all
Oh,
kind of eye candy.
I know. Oh my God, it's just, can you imagine being on that tender and
Oh,
seeing hundreds of dolphins all
yes.
around you? And like I said, it's not the actual shore excursion. It is just
Riding.
something that happens. People ask me all of the time is what time of year is the best or what itinerary is the best specifically to see dolphins or whales or penguins. And while I cannot guarantee a specific sighting, I can guarantee that you are going to their home. You will see a lot of a lot, unlike anything else, any other place on this earth. And that's really why we designed our packages in a way that are truly all inclusive. So you can just enjoy it. You can look at all of those sea lions and penguins and not have to figure out where you're going for dinner, or if you want to pay for something extra that night, because it's all included. We always say wallets don't fit in wetsuits, so you can just leave yours behind.
Leave yours behind.
We have pre and post experiences in Quito. We have an exclusive flight from Ecuador mainland from Quito to the islands of food, transfers, beverages, gratuities, programming, Wi-Fi, just absolutely everything is included. And we have packages that include everything, including the paperwork, transfers, everything, starting with 10 nights. I have a 10 or 11 night, both of which start with Quito. Quito is the capital of Ecuador, and it's an amazing, amazing city. Very calm, peaceful, beautiful, and it is the best preserved capital in the Americas. So you see really old buildings, which is unusual for our part of the world because, of course, we've gone through so many changes. I mean, you see buildings here that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, which is very unusual for this continent.
Yeah.
We also have the 16-night package that extends onto Machu Picchu. And all of this is
Clear my
included.
calendar.
Yes, it's a very natural itinerary. You're all the way over there. You might as well just keep
Right,
it going.
exactly.
Flights, transfers, meals, everything is included in this package as well.
And the luxury train, not just any old train.
The Hiram Bingham train, which is so beautiful. It's a vista dome and it's really nice.
Wonderful.
So not only are you going to bucket list destinations and just extraordinary places, but you're doing it in an extraordinary way.
Yeah, for sure.
I mentioned our flight. I like to show the picture because when I say it's a private flight, sometimes people think of a smaller jet. It's not. It is a real sturdy Airbus 319 or 320, chartered only for Celebrity Cruises guests.
Right. So you can start making your friends on the plane.
Exactly right. And it's only you. And it's fully serviced, very, very comfortable and direct. So it's only an hour and 45 minutes.
That's not bad. And do
Yeah,
they have food and drink service on the plane? Well, snack.
absolutely.
I mean, it's a
Fully
short flight.
serviced.
Okay.
No food and drinks. You will not go hungry on board or with Celebrity Cruises ever.
I believe it because y'all have really good food.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, in the Galapagos Islands, we have Celebrity Flora sailing year round. This is a true year-round destination because the climate is so mild and so stable being on the equator, right? We
Mhm.
have Celebrity Flora holds 100 guests. It's very comfortable, quite luxurious, and it's all suites. You can see here, it's inspired by the islands. So the textures, the colors, the look, the feel, all of it is designed to blur the boundaries between the outside world and the inside world. So when you come back from all of those excursions, from swimming with sea lions and turtles and penguins, you can come back and feel a sense of comfort,
Yeah.
but it's still very seamless, right?
Mhm.
We have water refilling stations in every room so you can stay hydrated. And as you can see, all of the furniture faces outward towards floor to ceiling windows. So the Galapagos Islands is always at the forefront, always in the focal point. We do have two restaurants on board, the Seaside Restaurant, which you see here, and the Ocean Grill restaurant. In the Ocean Grill, you can dine under the stars, and this is beautiful. You have the ocean breeze, and you're sitting under the constellations of both the north and the southern hemisphere. It's really, really, really beautiful. There's also a ton of spaces where you can meet with groups, you can talk with, like-minded people, or if you're there with a group, maybe you want some alone time, or maybe you want to walk around and explore the ship. There's plenty of spaces to do that. The two spaces that I'd like to highlight specifically, one of which is the lab. The lab is great. It is where the head naturalist on board usually is. And it's a space where you get to explore and dive into the nitty-gritty, the science behind it. We have samples of sand and different organisms on board, so you can see things under a microscope and just ask, why is the sand in Rabida Beach red as opposed to black like it is in Santiago? There's so many different nuances and things to learn when you are here. You feel like a resident scientist, truly.
Now, do they have staff in there to answer your questions for you?
Yes, absolutely. We have our head naturalist who is here. And if, let's say, you want to learn more about birds or specific fish, we always have somebody on board who specializes in something. Our naturalists, a lot of them have lived different lives. So we have lawyers, marine biologists, divers on board who decided to become naturalist guides.
Interesting.
So they bring all of that know-how, and it is just so fascinating to
Yeah,
speak with this group of people.
that's cool.
We also have Galapagos glamping. We're the only ones to do this, and this is lovely. I don't know about you, Stephanie, but I love running water and a bed. I don't love sleeping on the floor. So
Me either.
this is the ideal camping for me, where you
Mm.
have a private dinner for two on the top deck under the stars right at sunset. And then you sleep in a private cabana. We just like this, zip it up. You have games, you have whatever you'd like up there, and you fall asleep sunset to sunrise and
Yeah.
have a private breakfast. And it's just absolutely lovely. Really, really is.
With the sound of the ocean right there.
Exactly. With zero light pollution,
Yeah.
because it's very remote. And actually, all of the ships need to have a certain lighting mood that is called Galapagos mode. and um, it's a specific frequency that doesn't bother the animals on shore.
Oh, well, of course they're going to do that.
Right?
Of
It's just
course they will.
every single detail is thought of.
Right.
And there truly is no bad time to go to the Galapagos because the temperature is so mild. But
Right.
this is especially exciting time to book the Galapagos. We have 3 offers right now. 20% off vacation, so 20% off on top of everything.
Uh-huh.
You have that Flights on Us offer that includes your airfare from home in North America
Right.
to Quito. So this makes it a truly all-inclusive vacation. We can book the flights by Celebrity.
Mhm.
So you book it and we take care of the rest.
I'm going to ask you all the questions that everybody wants to ask about that flight promotion, okay?
Oh, of course.
Do we have any control over our flights, or do we
Yes.
get what we get and we don't throw a fit?
Well, no, in this case, we do allow fits.
Okay, okay. And then also,
So
can we
it's
get,
actually, let me just tell you what it is. It's a $750 credit,
okay,
and that applies to any flight you would like.
okay, gotcha.
So
And
if
so they could
it's
have business class or first class if they
exactly,
wanted to, and they just get the 750 credit.
exactly, or there's kind of 2 versions of this.
Okay,
If you have, or if you have 1,000,000 miles, or you have some kind of deal or a flight that you need to use, anything, you can actually book that on your own,
uh-huh.
and we discount cruise fare. We discount
Right.
$500 from the cruise fare.
Oh, that's fair. I like that.
Yeah, so you can kind of pick whatever floats your boat.
Okay,
And like I said, it's especially exciting right now because we just launched our 2027 deployments, and the offer is 50% off the second guest.
oh,
And you can do the 3 offers at once. So it's compatible
okay,
with the Flights on Us offer.
awesome. And everything is
So
inclusive, so let's
yeah,
not forget that.
exactly. It's absolutely all included. So you book it and then you make it happen. I mean, it is such a special place to go. And I always tell people you got to move it up because you never know what's going to happen. You don't want you don't want to wait until you have a bad ankle or a
Right,
bad knee that will limit you from really doing all of the activities that
right.
you want to do. You
Don't
by
wait
no
until you're
means have
retired,
to,
in other words, because
exactly,
people say that all the time, and I'm like, no, I'm
put
going
it off, you
now.
put it off, and then it doesn't happen. But this place truly is unlike any other. And I think everybody, if you have the ability to, should see places like this in this earth, because in this day and age, we're so inundated with technology and the concrete jungle all around us that we put too much space between us and the natural world. And coming here, it's kind of like you're realigning
Right.
with that world, and it's really, really special.
Kind of grounds you and puts priorities back in focus.
Absolutely. And it shows you what can be done,
And it
right?
is affordable if you book 2027 now, and you can make
Yeah,
payments over time.
absolutely. You make payments over time, and by the time you get there, you do not spend one more dime,
Right. No
right? Of
ticketing.
course, souvenirs or whatever you want
Right.
to get when you're there, but your vacation is paid for. Everything, things that you didn't even realize that you would need. For example, the wetsuits, the snorkeling equipment,
Right.
everything is taken care of.
Which those excursions alone, if you were in Alaska or,
Oh God,
somewhere like that, they're going to be like $600 to $800 a person. So people need
yeah.
to understand the value of that too.
Yes, all the flights, all the meals, and I'm not talking about like sandwiches and potato salad. Look, I love a potato salad, but this is all local, fresh food and it's an ever-changing menu. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, nothing compares to Celebrity Cruises food, and in this part of the world, it's very good and it's authentic.
Well, when you
Right.
say local food, like somebody like me who doesn't like fish, Is there going to be
Sure.
some chicken or steak on board?
Absolutely. You know, we all appreciate the same creature comforts.
Right.
So we balance the two,
Okay.
right? How do we maintain a very authentic experience with not only the Celebrity Cruises brand that we know and love, but also your comfort foods, of course, your chicken and steak, your spaghetti bolognese, your Caesar salad, things that you know you're going to love. And if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, sure, try something new. And yes, all of the food is local, coming from the islands.
Okay.
Being in the equator means it's always tomato season, it's always strawberry season. So you have really high quality, the freshest fruits, the freshest vegetables, and everything is wild caught. So if
Oh,
you're not really into fish, well, everything is artisan farming. So
okay.
it's small local farms. So you can feel good about where your dollars are going, but also everything that you're putting in your body, that it's responsibly sourced.
Still a good vacation all around the board.
All around the board, truly, you leave here just thinking about when's the next time that you're going to come back.
Wow.
It's one of those places. Yes, absolutely. And Stephanie, thank you so much. I hope you learned a thing or two.
I learned
And know
more
that I
than
am a
two.
resource for you. For anybody watching, please reach out to Stephanie, and anything that I can help with. No details too small when it comes to a experience like this. And my goal here is just to bring as many people as possible to experience this incredible part of the world. So thank you for having me, Stephanie and
Thank
Nan.
you. Thank you for taking time to educate us on the Galapagos. And Nancy, thank you for making the connection. And everybody have a great day. Today, we talked about some special offers. Today is April 1st of 2025. So if you're viewing this in 2026, then the offers are going to be different. So I just want to put that out there. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop this and we'll stay on, okay?